home. If you don't look left, look right, and run. The amount of plates she was carrying. And me as an African child, obviously I want to help her. You don't do that here. You know that thing where someone is waiting for you and you're like, hey, I'm almost at the door, but you're still in your house doing your makeup. You don't do that here. I've been noticing a lot of you watch my videos and you don't subscribe. I'm giving you time to subscribe. Are you subscribing? Okay, we can continue the video now. Hello guys. I can't believe it's already been 6 months in Finland. Where did all the time go? Where did all the time go? But today I'm going to be talking about like cultural shocks that I've experienced in Finland as an African. I don't want to say as a Cameroonian because I feel like we are African, even though we're from different countries. Generally, we almost have the same culture, and yeah, these are some very shocking facts about Finland. If you're coming here, you are prepared because you have to be prepared. It's so funny how the world is one, but people are just like cultures are so different. Not that one is good and one is bad, but like we're just so different. So in order to live in a place, I feel like it's very important for you to understand their culture so it can help you fit in without hitches, and also to avoid trouble, because something that can be okay back in your country, here it might not be, and it's better to, is it to be forewarned to be foreknown is to be, there's a saying that goes something like that. One thing that's very big here is personal space. Personal space. It's like the country is always in COVID mode. You see, when COVID was around and people had to keep their distance from each other, here we don't need COVID to do that. Especially in like public places. If someone is sitting on a chair, just don't go and sit right next to them. Even in public transport, the only time when it's okay to actually sit next to someone is when like there are no other seats available. For example, if you're in a bus and there's no space and you end up sitting next to someone, immediately there's a free available seat, you leave. It might sound, it's not like they don't like you. They social distance from themselves as well. So it's not about you being African, it's not about you being from another place. They just have this very deep respect for personal space, which is very much appreciated here. Because I know back home, maybe when you see someone sitting on their own by themselves, you just want to maybe sit next to them and you guys start chatting. You must not necessarily know the person to sit next to them. But here, no. If someone is sitting alone, let them be alone. Don't like, here it's good to really mind your business because they mind their business. If it doesn't concern you, if your opinion is not called for, like, be in your own space. So another thing that was shocking when I got here was how sustainable things are. They know how to make perfect use of every resource they have. There's nothing that's like thrown away, or like even the most useless things, the things that are being considered useless, they have use for them. Because one thing is, Finland is very big on nature, so them being sustainable is, I feel like it's their own way of appreciating the nature that is around them. A lot of things here are free, especially when it comes to like make natural resources. An aspect of this sustainability is seen in Lapland. I know most of you have heard of Lapland. It's in a region, it's in a town called Rovaniemi. And this is supposed to be the coldest place in Finland. Like, it's actually the coldest region. But it's turned into a place for tourism. Like, it's a very big tourist attraction here in Finland. Like, people come worldwide. Like, they know how to market even the things that are generally considered bad, because the temperatures there can go really down. I don't know exactly how much, but I'll do research and maybe just drop a figure here. But it's very cold, but somehow they've turned it into like this winter wonderland. They have ice hotels, they have reindeers, That's where children go to meet Santa. Like, it's very clever. It's very clever because I feel like that's a place that if it wasn't here would be abandoned because to say the conditions are very inhuman. But even the things that are not generally considered positive, they know how to turn it. So I would say they are very, very sustainable people. So here, mental health. Oh my God. They focus so much on your mental health. Like back home, therapy is very optional. Definitely, generally, therapy is optional, but here they want to make sure everyone is fine. Like they care so much about your mental health. And it came as a shock to me because we're usually just known to like keep it pushing. But here it's different. There's very big emphasis on mental health. They don't joke about their mental health. People quit jobs for their mental health. Like there are a lot of facilities here to help with mental health issues. And if you just mention that something is draining you mentally, like it's a whole big deal. It's not just they don't see it as you complaining, like they actually pay very keen attention to things concerning your mental health. So that's one thing that I also noticed here, which is actually a very big positive. So now let's talk about the weather. Coming to Finland, like actually I was prepared for the worst because I did my research. I know definitely everyone knows Finland is a cold country. It's in the Nordic region, so you can tell temperatures where I am, temperatures can go down to even like 25 degrees. I've not experienced that yet, and I don't really want to. But yeah, it can happen. So about the weather, I would say like this is a tip. When it comes to like the Finnish winter, don't think that there's something that you can bring from back home that is going to help you here. It is cold, and they have clothes specially made for this warm weather. So you can come with your summer clothes if you even need to carry clothes because generally I don't really think you need to carry that much clothes. And I'm going to do a video about that things you should bring, in my opinion, and things that you can just get them here. Like for winter clothes, you should definitely get them here because when I told you you need windbreaker, snow breaker, this breaker, everything proof, waterproof, this one proof. So yeah, you need to be prepared for that. And also something that shocked me about the weather, like right now we're in the winter and it's not up to 3 p.m. but the sun is already setting. We have very, very long, dark winter days. Should I even call them days? Like the sun could rise at about 9 a.m. and by 3 p.m. it's already setting, which is very unusual because back home sun sets by like 6:30 and it doesn't matter what season. Like we have day, we have night, but here it's like that balance is a bit off because it could be night anytime. It could literally be night anytime. Just like experiencing things that are out of the ordinary. So it's it's definitely something that is based off preference. So if you're someone who likes unusual things, then you're going to love it. If you're someone who is addicted to daylight, then I don't know, eh? I don't really know. But you're going to find it very, 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 very shocking. Yeah. Like I go to school in the dark. By the time I'm coming back home, it's already dark. So you need to get accustomed to darkness. Like you need to just get you need to become a man of the night, literally. But at the same time, during the summer, there's no night. I always say like there's no night, and people are like, no, like there's literally no night. I used to go for walks at about 12, wait, 12 a.m. 12 a.m. I'll go for walks, even 2 a.m. Like it's sunny 24/7. So I think it balances out the dark winter days. And also something that shocking that happened was I experienced the aurora lights. I didn't take any pictures, but it was so heavenly and it's just so pretty. It's just so pretty, honestly, because these are things that you wouldn't find in any other area of the world. I think the rural lights are noticeable only in Finland and Sweden. I don't know, maybe even only Finland. I don't know. I don't know, but it's definitely not something that is very common. I also notice is how centralized everything is to make an appointment for everything. You don't just walk into offices unless they do have working days, but you also have to respect that time when they are expecting, when they are accepting working clients. But most things are based on appointments. But back home, sometimes you just go to an office, you just spy if the manager is there or whoever you want to see and you just walk in. No, you don't do that here. Even if you go there and you see the person is sitting there in the office and is not attending to anybody, if it's not their time for working clients, don't even attempt, like, don't even try. Then something that also shocked me about Finland was the amount of safety that is here. Oh my god. Like honestly, I've never felt so safe in my life. It's not like back home is dangerous, but here, like, it's like literally nothing can happen to you. Especially when it comes to like, especially as a woman, as a woman, um, a lot of things happen to us where we don't really feel safe, especially at night with men and things like that. But I think here, like, your no is your no, your yes is your yes. As a woman, you have a lot of rights. There are a lot of laws backing you, and generally the people are very peaceful. And unless you invite them into your space, they will not come. So as a woman, you can even take midnight walks, and nobody is going to approach you. Nobody is going to try to do anything funny to you. And I think in this day and age where everything is so, I don't know, where women are not so protected, it's something to really treasure. Then also, Finnish people are very punctual. Like when I tell you they are punctual, if someone is inviting you and you say you'll be there by 10, by 9:56 they are there waiting for you. And they take it like they are very offended when you are late. And here we have a lot of like uncertain weather conditions, but it's not an excuse. When you're preparing, you always need to create time for these uncertainties. But at the end of the day, you should always make it. Like if it's an appointment with a doctor, if it's at 10, be there at 10. The worst thing you can do is like create a reputation for yourself where people see you as a latecomer, like it's frowned upon. Be punctual. You see that our African time where you can come 1 hour later, like if a party begins at 9, normally you should be there by 10:30. African time doesn't apply here, please. If it's 10, it's 10. If it's 10, it's 10. And you know that thing where someone is waiting for you and you're like, hey, I'm almost at the door, but you're still in your house doing your makeup. Don't do that here. The worst thing you can do is betray a Finnish person's trust. Like, even those little things that you think are so little, don't lie. Because for us, like if you're waiting for me and I tell you I'm almost there, you know that I'm not almost there. You just maybe just say. And sometimes it's okay for us to be late, but here don't do that. Don't do that. And even if as for some reason you end up being late, be very honest about it. If you're going to be 15 minutes late, tell them you're going to be 15 minutes late, and you should be 15 minutes late, not 20 minutes late. But just make sure that scenario doesn't even happen in the first place. Then another thing that shocked me here was the life expectancy rate. Like there are a lot of older people here, and they are very strong. Like I was volunteering, and there was this older lady. I can swear that lady is in her 90s. The amount of plates she was carrying, and me as an African child, obviously I want to help her. You don't do that here. You don't help people. You don't help old people unless they ask you to. Unless you see they're in distress. But if they are doing something, for us is respect because our mothers. How can you be standing there and someone older than you is doing this and you're just watching? No, here you need to let it be. Whatever they are doing, just let them be. They are very, very strong and they are very, 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 very hardworking. Like you see someone in their 90s walking faster than you in your 20s. Another cultural shock that I faced here was not if that I face, that I am facing here is the job market. It's almost a bit similar to what we have back home. So this one is more like a similarity, but it's still shocking because I thought it was going to be like completely opposite. You know, back home where it's about like who you know, like we call them like godfathers. It's almost the same thing here. Like here, it's a fancier word is used, recommendations. Like everything is based off recommendations. You can be qualified for something, but if someone doesn't recommend you, forget about it. They need to be sure that you can do the things you're claiming to do, your certificates and everything. That's nice, that's good, but it's always to have an upper hand, always have someone who recommends you. So it's always good to know people in higher places, if you know what I mean. Another thing that I found very shocking was when I was coming here, you know how when people are leaving, it's like you carry a lot of food. Yes, of course, I'll advise you to bring food, but I was shocked with the amount of variety that I found here at the Asian market. Like you can literally make anything. I'm from Cameroon, so I don't really know about other nationalities, but I would say about 80% of what you need is in the Asian store. Yeah, it's a bit more pricey, but I was shocked to even just see it there in the first place because I wasn't expecting it. Another shocking thing I've experienced is there's a time limit to buy alcohol here. You cannot just walk into a bar and just buy alcohol. Like alcohol is so controlled, it's restricted. You need an ID, you need this. Like back home, you can just send your little nephew to go and get you a bottle of beer. Here, you cannot try that. You need an ID when you're buying alcohol, and there's a time limit. After that time limit, even if you're old enough, you cannot buy alcohol from a shop. And I think that time limit is, I'll put it up here, it's either 9 or 10 p.m. You cannot buy alcohol after that time, which is very shocking. I still don't know the reason behind that, but that is that is the reality here. And another one I'm still struggling with, oh my god, is priority when crossing the road. Like when you get to a zebra crossing, the one that doesn't have the stoplight, you have priority to cross. So if there's a car coming and you are at the zebra line, you need to cross, or the car is going to wait for you to cross. So no matter how long you wait, that car is also waiting for you. And this is shocking because back home, if you don't look left, look right, look left, look right, and run, like literally run across the road. Nobody is giving way for you. So I always get into situations where I see the car coming and I just wait because I'm waiting for the car to pass before I cross. I always forget. Then it's later when I'm like, oh, I have priority. It's been 6 months here and I'm still struggling because I still have that. I don't know. It's not really a mentality, but it's just a habit that I always just give way to cars. So I just want to end this video by giving my general overview of Finland so far. I would say Finland is a good country. I will advise that when you're coming here, you should have certain goals for yourself, and it's easy to like get lost in a lot of things, but you should know exactly why you're coming here so that you don't get distracted. It's a very quiet place, but you can easily get distracted. You might even lose your sense of being, which might not be a bad thing because if you're out for the experience, you can fully be submerged into the system. But when coming here, it's good to have your strong sense of individuality because you're going to be spending a lot of time alone here. It's a nice place for self-reflection because you're going to be spending a lot of time alone, especially in the winters, the cold, dark winters. Nobody wants to visit anybody. Social events are at an all-time low. So you have to spend like a lot of time alone. So you really need to get comfortable being alone, which to me is not a bad thing because I've always been a loner, but like I said, everything is based off preference. So if you're someone who is a social butterfly, who knows, you might meet your other social butterflies here. But generally, I would say it's an introvert heaven. So that's all about this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.